Bonnie's Insider is presented by Universal Primary Care, providing care for the whole family.
Hello and welcome to Bonnie's Insider, presented by Universal Primary Care. It has been an incredibly busy month around campus with all of our teams in action, and this week we'll catch you up on what's been going on in this crazy spring. In this week's episode, we feature the story behind a fundraiser that has special meaning for the women's lacrosse team, and we'll take a look at the work the track teams are putting in as their season kicks into high gear. We'll also sit down with men's lacrosse head man Randy Mearns in this week's Energy Mart Coach's Corner and preview the Atlantic 10 Swimming and Diving Championships. First, though, we take a look back at an unforgettable season on the hardwood. In a difficult year, the Bonnie's men's basketball team was a source of excitement for Bonnie fans everywhere as they captured the Atlantic 10 Championship and advanced to the NCAA tournament.
Everybody close their eyes. Think about that person that helped you get here. That got you to this spot, that believed in you when no one else believed in you. That loved you, that gave you confidence, that said you can do it when other people doubted you, that had your back when no one else had it. When it gets tough, fellas, that's who we are playing for. They're proud of you, but you know you're proud of them.
It's important for St. Bonaventure to start fast. This is the first game that they will have played this season. A returning group and a returning core, but it's going to be important for them to settle in.
High game. Lofton with the waist-high right-hand dribble at the three-point line. He lets it fly. Good. Holmes wants another. Why not? Jaron Holmes, 38 points.
It was 40-25 VCU at halftime. In the second half, St. Bonaventure has outscored VCU 45-14. And now the Bonnie sits solo at the top at 5-1 in the A-10.
Let's go, man! Walk through that door, you see us first place, right? Yeah. It's a sense of pride. They do. But understand how we got here and why we're here. We just don't show up and play and think it's gonna happen. We're in first place for a reason. Remember how we got here.
Not only did we lose our president, we lost a great man. He was a great man and a great leader, and he did amazing things here in his short stay. This season now is in tribute to Dr. DePiro and all the things that he's done for us and for this community. He was one of us. He understood what this place is all about. He was a special guy, someone we'll dearly miss.
Welcome everybody to the Air Force Reserve A-10 Men's Basketball Championships from inside the Siegel Center.
From 11-1, fellas. Those 2 hours, those 120 minutes, fellas, we are playing this game downhill to win. And our goal when we got here to be 2-0, getting the game. And how do we do that? Remember how we got there, fellas. Remember how we got there. Playing harder and smarter than the opponent. Doing the blue collar stuff. I've worked way too hard. You guys have worked way too hard. You have an opportunity right here, fellas. You have an opportunity. It's the championship game, but it is a basketball game, all right? Doing the same thing we've always done, fellas. The little things, charges, loose balls, deflections. Harder, smarter, and more together. We do that, fellas. At 3 o'clock, we'll be cutting down the nets. Thank you, Lord, for giving us an opportunity to play in this game. Keep us injury-free, help us play for each other, and help us play for that person, and help this game. In your name we pray. Amen.
From a Bonnie's team that made an impact on the court this year, we shift gears to look at the work that another Bonnie's team is doing off the field to make a difference. For the second year in a row, the Bonnie's women's lacrosse team is wearing purple before their games. And while that might look a little strange to some Bonnie's fans, there's a great reason for that purple gear. The team is raising money for the CJD Foundation, hoping to find a cure for the rare neurological disease by the same name that impacts about 500 Americans every year. Last year, the team raised over $4,400 for that cause, and this year is trying to top the total. For the Bonnies, the initiative hits close to home.
He was probably one of the greatest men I had known in my life. Any single person you ask in the world, he always had a smile on his face and he was always joking around no matter what. When my dad was in the hospital, he did start to lose his speech and he wasn't able to talk with us much, but there was just one moment where I was hanging out with him. We were playing music because he loved rock, loved metal, everything. So I was playing Smoking in the Boys' Room by Motley Crue. And there's one part of the song where it goes it gets super low and he usually makes his face and we'll sing the words. But like I said, he wasn't able to speak, but I saw him scrunch his face up and start trying to mutter the words, and it's just something that really sticks with me a lot. I was kind of sitting there and I'm like, it would be a really good idea to start a fundraiser for this. Started mentioning it to my teammates and we kind of just ran off with it. I mean, there was one day Savannah and I were in the library and we were literally just taking notes on different ideas and different things we could do to raise money, and we met down with Coach, and Coach was super for it, and we ran off with it, and it was a whole month's preparation, but it paid off. It's so nice to know I have 40 plus girls behind me. It's like having a whole other family, but more, and I'm so grateful to have them all behind me. The foundation and what it means does mean a lot for me, or to me and my family. We really appreciate everyone who's putting in the money and helping raise awareness for this. It's super nice to see all these people who saw just as much as what I saw in my dad. It really does show how much of an impact he did have on this world and on all the people he had met in his life, and it truly does make me happy and gives me something to look up to. You can check out our social media pages. We do have different ways of fundraising. We have our fundraiser on the website through the CJD Foundation, and we have a Venmo, which a lot of the girls are linking on their Instagram pages, which you can find.
To date, the Bonnies have raised over $3,000 this year to go toward the CJD Foundation. For information on how you can donate toward the cause, visit the team's Twitter or Instagram pages at Bonnies WLAX. It's time for a quick break, but up next we take a look at the upcoming Atlantic 10 Swim and Dive Championships. You're watching Bonnie's Insider, presented by Universal Primary Care.
Schultz is always at your service, ensuring your vehicle gets the maintenance it requires. Now, with modern, touchless options across the entire auto care experience. Speak with a service advisor on the phone or at one of our newly envisioned service centers. Pay invoices online or via mobile app. And drive home in confidence, knowing Schultz only permits limited personnel access to your vehicle. Exceeding expectations is our mission. That's why the next generation of auto care is already here at Schultz.
Western New York is known for energy innovation. Today, Energy Mark is leading the way for the next generation of renewable energy. At Energy Mark, we help power Western New York homes and businesses with low-cost, locally produced energy, including renewables like solar and wind power. Energy Mark, the official energy supplier to the Buffalo Bills. Connect your account to Energy Mark at buylocalenergy.com.
Welcome back to Bonnie's Insider, presented by Universal Primary Care. Well, it's championship week for the Bonnie swim and dive teams as the swimming teams head to Spire Institute in Geneva, Ohio, and the diving teams go to George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia, in a revised format this year for the Atlantic 10 Championships.
It was kind of hard to believe we'd even have A10s, so I guess I'm really excited to compete and just to race in general and just swim. Now that everybody's out, the morale's a lot higher now than it has been in the past, and I think the roughest parts have been over. We're definitely feeling a lot better, and we're excited. Kind of a bit nervous because our training hasn't been the same as in the past with distancing and when we're supposed to be on deck. So just kind of not worrying about that and cheering my girls on and having some fun is kind of the plan. I don't have any expectations this year. I mean, it would be nice to match my time from last year, but I'm just having fun with it and I'm not worrying about it too much. The men, they're kind of crazy and they bring a lot of energy. I mean, the girls are great too, but having us all together, we're really gonna miss that is being with the team, because we cheer each other on and we really make it fun for each other, and I think that's the part that we're really leaning on. We're doing it for the team.
Good luck to our teams as they compete for Atlantic 10 Championships this week. Another group of Bonnies is looking to set fast times this spring as the track seasons are underway. With one event in the books last month and several new program top 10 times already set, the teams are finally back in competition after a year without any outdoor track action.
It's trying to get them back in shape right now. Self-motivation, especially for a runner, is probably the most important part. I don't have to tell you to go out and run every day. You should be self-motivated to do that. You're on your own. You should be and have to be self-motivated if you want to be on a cross-country track team. The kids have handled it very well. They understand. What I feel bad for a lot of is the freshmen. When they came in, we normally have a 2-week camp. They didn't experience that, where you're doing, the captains and the guys and the girls do team bonding activities. They were totally dismissed from those activities. The practices every night and just being in a group with the girls and the guys doing their stretching, doing their core, just doing the things together as a team, they missed that out. I want to see what the freshmen and sophomores can do, because there are some that can be very good, and they might be pushing the record book on some of the events in track.
Throughout the winter, it was a lot of Coach Mack and Coach Alonzi constantly getting on us, constantly sending us messages. And also, as a captain this year, I really want to be motivational for the younger kids. Coming into this year, they didn't get all the cool stuff that they normally get. They didn't get to spend time with their team. They didn't spend time at camp. By me staying motivated and continuing to work hard and staying in shape, it really sends a good message to the younger kids, who are really the future of this program as it continues to get better. I'm most looking forward to just running in track in general. Track's fun, and we haven't got to do it in a really, really long time. And I'm just looking back to getting to some form of normalcy. It's awesome to have track back. It's a big recruiting tool, I think. A lot of kids don't just want to go somewhere and run cross country all year. Reinstating track, now that we're hearing about all the history and the archives and all these incredible runners we had in the past, we want to rebuild the program and get it back to where they were, because there's a lot to look up to.
Coach Mack and Coach Lonzi have really reiterated to us that it is a tough time right now, but we really do just have to stay motivated. Just through their words of encouragement, they've really kept us going. Just trust your gut and trust your training. That's something Coach Mack also tells us, just to trust our training. It's definitely more speed workouts. Just last week I was doing 800 repeats, but for cross country I would be doing 1,500 repeats. It's also very exciting because it's been we've been leading up to track season for a very long time. I'm excited to see a lot of success from a lot of people, because I know people have been putting a lot of work in, and I'm excited just to travel with everyone, for Bonnie's to just get to be out on the track again.
The Bonnie's men's lacrosse team has shown impressive growth this spring in their third season since the program was reborn at the Division I level in 2019. Under the guidance of head coach Randy Mearns, the Bonnies have won their first 3 games this spring, and they're a team that no one will want to face when the MAC tournament begins April 30th. In this edition of the Energy Mark Coach's Corner, we sit down with Coach Mearns to talk about his impressive resume and a life spent in lacrosse, both as a player and as a coach.
I got into lacrosse 4 years old, St. Catharines, Ontario. My brother played. I was a young little whippersnapper. And all of a sudden you get a little bit older and you start realizing you kind of got to set some goals. And for me, it was about playing junior A lacrosse and trying to represent Team Canada. And then I kind of felt at that point I had the opportunity to come down to the States and play at my alma mater, Canisius College, and that was super exciting and helped build the program there. What our guys are doing here, I actually did it at Canisius as a student athlete. I think it was just something that I was always ingrained by my parents, and quite honestly, watching my brother grow. Do you want to get into something that it's already established and wow, you're just kind of a part of the, another cog in the wheel of success, versus, start from scratch, build it, and then get it to where it's successful, and then you can just kind of consider it's your baby, right? And you kind of can own that, the goods and the bads with all of it too, though. And then just like anything, you set your goals, you set your dreams, and you just try to stay after day to day to day. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't happen overnight. I kind of emulate that with this program right now. We try to bring in, high quality kids, talented, got some goals, got them dreams themselves, coaching staff alike. And then, knowing that this is going to be hard, and then it's just the day to day, trying to be consistent, trying to get better. And it just so happenstance that the National Lacrosse League was in its infancy. It was the Eagle League, and it was just kind of coming out in 91. First year of the Bandits was 1992. And I got to go kind of watch it and see, wow, there's 18,000 people at the Odd. And a lot of the guys that were competing for the Buffalo Bandits that year were guys that I played with up in Canada. And I kind of felt wow, if I keep working hard, I might get the opportunity. I can see my guys being successful, guys that I played with and competed with all the way through. And fortunate enough to win a couple of world championships. Got heavily involved in field lacrosse in Canada, not knowing that was going to be the life, but wanted to give back, always told to give back by my parents. And you do that, and all of a sudden you realize you have this coaching resume. And then I had the opportunity to come back to Canisius as a grad assistant from a coaching standpoint, not knowing that was the way I was going to go as a grad assistant. I was going to get my my master's of sports administration, and then the following year I was offered the head coaching job. And then I had the new opportunity to join the Rochester Nighthawks, and that was exciting. It was a great group, because it was a group of Canadians, Native Americans, and Americans when you look at the roster. And we all had to kind of come together. There was the American guys that didn't really know traditionally how to play box lacrosse, obviously the Native Americans as well, that were phenomenal box lacrosse players, and then we had that good mix of some Canadian guys. And it was great for a couple years to build that team and win in 1997 against the Bandits, at the Marine Midland. And there's nothing like it when you're playing in front of 18,590, because that's how much it held, and it was packed and jammed, and to get over the, to get over the top to win, to be a part of, the Creators game and helping build that and giving back to it is, it's been an honor of a lifetime. But I think a big thing for me was just really watching my brother grow. My brother's 7 years older, and he's got class 7 cerebral palsy, and to watch all his struggles, all the things that he went through in his life, and himself being the able-bodied younger brother, you know, if I even dared to think about trying to complain about something, you know, that was just not really tolerated, because he just basically looked at me and say like, oh, what's your problem? You know, and when you watch, you know, somebody set a goal and, you know, set some dreams and, you know, go after it, it's pretty amazing.
That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for joining us on Bonnie's Insider. Until next time, go Bonnies!